going to be preaching today without a mask because everyone in this room is also wearing a mask and we are all vaccinated. Are you friends with Jesus? Have you ever thought about it? Now, I will admit that the entire concept of having Jesus or God as a friend isn't really something I've historically thought much about. I remember being in Sunday school and singing, "Jesus loves me, this I know," and what a friend we have in Jesus. But if I'm going to be truly honest, Jesus really had far more in common, at least in my childhood mindset, with the teacher, and less with the people I played with and called friends. I mean, I was told and I believed that Jesus loved me, but even as a child, and maybe perhaps especially as a child, I knew that merely having affection and love for someone didn't necessarily make them your friend. And it wasn't until a few years ago, well into my adulthood and well into seminary, that I attended St. Gregory of Nyssa Episcopal Church in San Francisco and was presented with their mission, becoming God's friends. And it was then that I started to begin earnestly to think about friendship with Jesus. Are you friends with Jesus? John's Gospel presents becoming friends with Jesus as very simple. If you love one another as I have loved you, Jesus says, you are my friends. Great! Sign me up. I'm on board. But if it's really that easy, why did it take me so long to think about Jesus as my friend? I don't think I'm that far behind the eight ball. To be blunt, it's because adults of today, we're not great at friendships. There's a meme that pops up periodically on Facebook and Instagram, particularly around Easter, and it says something along the lines of, the greatest miracle Jesus pulled off was having 12 close friends in his 30s. Yeah. I laugh at it. I think it's funny. Yeah. It also stings because it's true. Yeah. As I've gotten older, I've watched myself deprioritize friendships because I was tired or busy. I don't think I'm that uncommon. I've talked with many, many people who struggle or don't make time for friends. Unfortunately, our society would have you believe that family and work are essential. But friends, well, they are a luxury once you fit in everything else. Kind of like only getting dessert if you've eaten your vegetables at dinner. And it's making people lonely. Sociologists have studied this phenomenon. One study found that on average, Facebook users have around 300 friends. This is just an average. And this number is up from about 130 a decade ago. So it's more than double. But while the number of these friends has increased, the number of people who report loneliness, even before the pandemic, was steadily increasing. 2018, those who reported loneliness were about 50% of Americans. A year later, that number had jumped to 61%, or about 3 in every 5 people. This number only increases if you are younger, if you've been in a job for less than 6 months, or, interestingly, if you frequently use social media. And while this number of virtual friends keeps increasing, the number of close friends and confidants has decreased. In the 1980s, adults on average had 3 close friends. Today, that number is 2. And just to clarify what we're talking about, one professor who has spent his life studying the interpersonal communications of friendship says that a close friend is somebody to talk to, somebody to depend on, and somebody to enjoy. So are you friends with Jesus? Unfortunately, a friend is not how the church has presented Jesus to the world. Jesus has been pushed away from the material world and placed up in heaven as depicted as some dread judge. And that is a failure on the part of the church. And that has robbed many people of a real friendship with Jesus. Jesus gives us the commandment today, love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. From nearly the beginning of Christianity, people who followed a path to martyrdom were exalted by the church. Many of whom intentionally put themselves in situations or actively sought out death just so that they could be a martyr. In many minds, martyrdom was thought to be a straight shot to heaven. But I see a glaring issue here. Getting yourself killed is not the same as laying down one's life for one's friends. Maybe sometimes it involves sacrificing yourself so that your friend or someone else is safe. But I think Jesus is proposing something that Western culture will think is far more radical. Jesus wants us to risk a potentially catastrophic love affair with each other. I say that this love is catastrophic because it can kill you. It can lead you to lay aside beliefs about yourself and others, to seek the happiness and flourishing of others before yourself, potentially pushing aside family structures, safety, jobs, government allegiances, and churches. The powerful, both inside and outside the church, have always recognized the innate danger of this message of Jesus. And they've wanted to suppress it. And it has largely worked. Adults have proven that we don't understand this kind of friendship with each other or with Jesus. I think this is why Jesus so frequently favors children's knowledge above that of learned adults. They somehow more readily understand how to live in this way of friendship and love, especially with each other. We teach these lessons to our young ones, but we forget them as we age. So, as a case in point, I asked Ren, and she said that I could share this book with you all so that we could get a refresher on friendship. The book is called Kindness Rules by Eunice Moyles. So I apologize if you can't see the pictures really well, but it's a good book. It's very funny, even for adults. When you're feeling crabby, sad, or have lost your way, Magic Manners saves the day. When meeting someone new or old, Magic always says hello. When a friend asks to play with a favorite toy, Magic takes turns and shares the joy. When a new friend wants to join the game, Magic treats everyone the same. When asking for a want or need, Magic remembers to say please. When he feels upset and needs to be heard, Magic breathes and uses his words. When playing with someone or their stuff, Magic is gentle, never rough. When talking to someone face to face, Magic minds his personal space. When a friend has chosen to speak up, Magic doesn't interrupt. When it's time to sit down to eat, Magic is courteous and neat. When something he's done has hurt a friend, Magic always makes amends. Any time of day, or at home or at school, Magic remembers the golden rule. Treat others the way you want them to treat you. The end. So what did we learn? Friends share resources. Friends treat people with equity. Friends allow everyone to take up space. Friends embrace reconciliation. Friends love one another as they want to be loved. If you want to be Jesus' friend, this is the friendship that you must have with others. Do you really think you can handle being friends with Jesus?